So today it's my turn.
Yes.
I am
yay.
in the hot seat.
In the hot seat.
We decided that you can't just put Abby on the spot
Nope.
and see what her unfiltered response might be. It is my turn to do the exact same thing. I am not going to lie. I'm not sure I can come up with something funny, like right on the fly.
That's my defense mechanism.
I am
So
impressed.
it's always healthy that I do that.
It's healthy.
But
I know. No, I wish I could, but I will tell you that I will do my best to give you kind of my unfiltered therapist response. Funny enough, I would probably say that this was in the early phases of my career, probably what made me the most anxious about therapy was never knowing what was coming in the door.
right.
And then now at this phase of my career, I now feel like I don't really feel fazed by that.
Mm-mm.
I'm actually pretty relaxed bringing someone back.
If you're a first 5-year therapist, take this into account. Like
Yes.
by every year it gets easier and easier. And if you're feeling anxiety when someone's coming back, completely normal.
Totally normal.
Completely normal.
And it took me probably a solid 20 years to not feel any at all, just to put that into perspective. In the beginning being the hardest. So
Absolutely.
everybody settle in for today's chat where I am going to get unfiltered.
Welcome to Fit Mind Chats. Get comfortable, join us in our virtual therapy office, and get ready to gain insight into motivation that drives behaviors you don't understand. I'm Abby Smeedy, a licensed clinical counselor.
And I'm Sarah Dellavella, a licensed independent social worker.
We are the owners of Fit Mind Cleveland, a mental health private practice in Cleveland, Ohio, with grounded therapists that are approachable and meet you where you are in life, a place where you see your strength and grow your greatness. All right, Sarah?
Woo!
If you can't hear me, I'm rubbing my hands together. I can't wait. These are questions that have been in my head that I'm dying to ask someone else.
Shoot. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take some deep breaths
Okay.
because I just said that I don't get anxiety anymore, but apparently I still do. I'm
not sure what you think I'm going to throw at you that hasn't been
Seriously?
thrown at you.
Okay, good point. Good
Yeah,
point.
These things have all been thrown at you before.
You're probably right.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to start off with the one that I brought up to you before.
Yes.
This is something that comes up in my office all the time
Okay.
with individuals, but
Okay.
it's about their partners.
Okay.
Their partners, that they're watching porn.
Okay.
They're into it. One of their partners wants to watch same-sex porn.
Right. Okay.
And then they're like, the idea emerges.
Okay.
What if we bring a third person in and do a threesome?
Uh-huh. Yes.
And they ask, is this normal? I say it's normal to think about this.
Yes.
However, I think we have to pro and con it, but that's where I kind of like, I'm not a couples counselor, so I don't know if I'm
No, I think you're going
guiding
in the
the
absolute right direction.
right direction. So what would you do when someone comes to you and says, hey, we're considering bringing a third person in?
Okay, so first I would start by normalizing that a lot of people use porn in the bedroom.
Mhm.
It really helps. Not everyone's into porn. I totally get it. You might be on the side that says porn is evil. That is not my take on porn. If it works with couples and they like it and it's consensual and adult, those are the most important. Then, of course, I say more power to you. The other thing I always try to remind people is that fantasy is one thing, reality is another thing, and that fantasy lives are a really safe place to do a lot of exploration, and that is what allows people to get to where they want to go, because often that fantasy is solving a problem for them so that they can get to orgasm. So, okay, so I would normalize that.
Okay.
Then I might talk exactly like you do. Okay, so there's a difference between reality. Talk to me about what your concerns, putting this into a realistic setting. So now we're going from, this is all fantasy play.
Right.
There's no hurt feelings, no third parties to have to manage.
Right.
To, okay, the how. Who, what, when, where, how of this.
Right.
And
Logistics of it.
Logistics. Like, it's boundaries.
Yes.
Then I'd be like, what can the guy do with this female, right?
Right.
They want to
we're
bring
doing
in-
female thing,
let's
or
say the
guy.
word- or
Usually
guy.
it's more female. I usually get that one.
I've heard that probably more often too. And I'd probably say, now you ask for the boundaries of like, do we do this here in our hometown?
True.
Because that could, lead to it getting out.
Right.
Then there's the boundaries actually of after you find someone, there's the boundaries of what are we allowed to do when we're all together.
Right.
How do you make sure it's really safe in that way? Like,
Disease,
I mean,
Okay.
but also
STDs.
safe in like, what if you never say, am I allowed to participate? So whomever you are in this couple.
right?
So let's say the wife is like, I would like to participate in this way with this
Mhm.
person. And you then say, well, I'd like to participate this way. And then she says, no, I'm not comfortable with that. So,
Ooh.
and or vice versa. Let's say the
Mhm.
guy's like, I'm not really comfortable with you doing XYZ with this guy that we're bringing in.
Right.
Okay, so it's all these, it's like a topic of boundaries. This can be done,
hmm
and it just, but it has to have like very clear, explicit boundaries around it to try to address the potential pitfalls, which are the cons. The cons on the list.
Because I think like like the biggest fear
Mhm.
is what if they like that person more than me?
So 100%, I think
Because that's
true.
new, it's fresh, it's exciting.
Yes.
And then can you have contact outside of the three of us?
That's a boundary.
Yeah.
Will we ever talk to this person again?
Right.
What if said person, what happens if you get really jealous when watching your partner and the other person doing things
Right.
together? What do you do?
Do
Is
you
there a
stop
word?
it? Yeah.
You go,
is it-
okay, yeah, I thought this was doable. I can't do this.
Mhm.
That's a possibility. You might want to prep the third party for that as well.
For sure.
But you're right. Even the afterword, what are the boundaries there? Are you
no
allowed to
communication
contact?
or
Mm-hmm.
because the pitfall I've seen come in my office
Yes.
is that they'll contact one that they feel connected
I
with,
agree.
and then a side relationship starts, and then that third, the trio in middle school friendships, the
I
trio in
know.
high school friendships, the trios anywhere seem to be real tough to navigate.
They
Someone
are.
always feels
Someone
left out.
feels left out.
Absolutely.
And so I've seen that too, that often there's a lot of jealousy that develops.
Yeah.
And so what was intended to strengthen or maybe reinvigorate or make it really fun in their bedroom ends up becoming something that's now breaking them apart. That's a good conversation to have.
Right.
If the party does contact you, do you immediately bring it to your spouse and say, they texted me,
Right.
and then you deal with it together?
Right.
Can you deal with it as a couple, or is this going to, again, make things harder? Because there is a huge difference between fantasy and reality.
Right.
And fantasy is safe. You have control of all the people involved. It's a fantasy. There's no people. Or you're watching porn. It's fictional.
That person's not texting.
That's not even there. Like
Right,
they don't
no.
know you or your partner. So this is like the idea might help you achieve a goal, which is have a passionate experience.
Right.
And get to the end result if you want to, but having like a lot of pleasure with your partner.
Right.
But the reality might very well be very different. So I do think it's really important to talk through those things.
Absolutely. And this is the
Yes.
follow-up question I get with this too, is what if we hire a professional? I had a couple that were going to, I think, Thailand, or it was an
Yes.
Asian country where the sex trade is legal.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
What about that? That was the next idea, because they were really considering this, but said, hey, no, not in our neighborhood, not in our city,
Community.
not in my
Yes.
community. And like, I don't want this person to be a friend.
Yes.
I want this person to be they're a professional. Like, yeah, it's going to, no one goes to the therapist that you're best friends with.
Yeah.
It's
they
a similar
don't.
role.
Yes.
So that, and then I was like, well, I think we got to consider that is definitely an option. Some of the similar stuff, you don't have to worry about the blowback, anyone finding out, or whatever might happen with that. But what about STDs?
Yep.
And cost. I don't know. Cost might not be a factor, but like kind of the same thing too. What if you see your partner doing something to that person, and they're like, "Oh, that hurt.
Yes.
That wasn't what I thought."
So hiring someone, you are basically paying them to leave.
Mhm.
You're paying them for their professionalism, that this is what they do. So
Right.
if they look like they're enjoying it, they probably are like faking it for both of you because they're just getting paid to do so.
That's their
Maybe
job.
that helps. Like,
Yeah, maybe.
instead of someone else who you're like, this person might be attracted to my person.
Right.
And now all of a sudden I feel differently.
Right.
In a place where it is legal, now in the US, I think they do regulate and they have them regularly tested for like STDs.
It's
I'm
actual
not
trade,
sure
a profession.
If it's an actual, because isn't there in Nevada, there's like one place.
Yeah, there's the
where
bunny
it's the
ranch.
Bunny Ranch.
I don't know if it's still around, but
Yeah,
back,
is it still
back in
around?
the 90s, it was called the bunny ranch.
Yes.
I've read about it.
I read about it. But I don't know if Thailand has that same level of regulation. So
Yeah.
there's always the risk of like the physical STDs.
Right.
I mean, pregnancy,
Oh, good.
depending on what you're doing. So,
Right, 100%. So that's a question that comes up, not like, I wouldn't say, oh, hey, this is frequently, but I've had it probably 4 or 5 times
yeah.
where we kind of talk through those things. And I'm like, you and your partner, maybe you guys go to a therapist and work out the rules.
Yes.
But there is always going to be that emotional risk that they're going to like that person, or you're going to see your person with someone else and get upset about it. You don't think you're going to, but you might.
Yeah.
It could really hurt in the moment. Or you feel like, oh my gosh, they like it better with them than me.
And now you're insecure.
Yep. Then the comparisons start. Then erectile dysfunction happens. I mean, or like the girl can't climax. It can be a whole can of worms. So you got to think of all those things and check in.
Not forget that new can never compete with old.
Oh, yeah.
In relationships. I like something that's novel is just so very different than something that when you've been in a long-term committed relationship, you don't look at your partner quite the same way as you did when you first started dating. So that is something to remind yourself of.
Absolutely. So, okay.
All right. Well, good question. I like that one. Very good one.
I feel like we covered that topic. Okay. This is the one that I think that's a tough question.
Okay.
What's something therapists tell clients that isn't actually true, but helps anyway?
Whoa.
When I saw that, I was like, what's something I would say that's not true, but would help anyway?
Oh, okay. So I got one. I use paradoxical intervention sometimes.
Good one.
Okay, so what a paradoxical intervention, I'm not even being unfiltered about this, but this is my unfiltered review, right?
Unfiltered version.
Okay, it's like sarcasm in a way.
Oh, yes.
So they're like, it could be something stupid like, I am, you know what? I do not want to ever quit smoking because no one can tell me what to do. I'll be like, you're right. You should never quit smoking.
You're smoking another pack.
Screw that Surgeon General's warning on that label. What does the Surgeon General know anyway? No.
There's people that live in 90 that smoke.
Seriously, there's got to be that one person somewhere. You use, it's not true. I'm using irreverence. I'm using a bit of sarcasm, but it's called paradoxical because if you said what I said outside of there, people would look at you like your therapist said what to you?
Right.
Like, you should smoke 20 cigarettes a day.
Yeah. Every time you feel like you want a hit, you should go get one.
Go get 20. Yes.
Go buy it. You'll spend $100. I mean, that's probably over $100. Wow.
So that's a time where, you don't actually mean what you're saying.
Right.
They get the picture though. And it actually has I use it when I have someone who's really oppositional. So like that's their knee jerk is to do the opposite of what I say. So I might flip the script and say the opposite. So
that's exactly what I was thinking when I thought of this. I'm like, how many times have I had someone that's oppositional that is so therapy resistant, but still comes. So there's something they're trying to get out of it. Yeah. And I'll go the opposite. It's reverse psychology. Go the opposite. Works with little kids sometimes too. Yeah. But you reverse it and you're like, oh yeah, you know what? I think you should throw the biggest fit of your life. Like, lay down on the floor, kick and scream. See what happens. I think you should. I bet they give you what you want.
Yep.
So that's a great example because I feel like that happens.
Can you think of anything else that we would do that would like not be true? I'm trying to think.
True. I don't know. Like I spent a lot of time thinking about this question. The only thing I can think was the reverence that I use and like the reverse psychology sometimes. And I mean, I make sure they understand that like this is my reverse psychology. Yes. Like my face is not congruent with what my words are saying. Yes. I'm looking like you're crazy.
Yes. Yes.
So something like that. The only other thing I could think of is if I was working with like a child or a kid and the parent might have said something like, you know what, I didn't want him anyway. I would not. I would try to get them to attach to someone. You know what I'm saying? That would be the only. I wouldn't necessarily lie. I would lie by omission because I wouldn't put that out there for a kid or an adolescent or anyone. So no one needs to feel that way. So I guess maybe something like that.
Yes. Totally. That makes sense.
Good answer. That was
Thank you.
That was a hot one.
That's a good one.
Okay. If you could tell every couple one uncomfortable truth they'd hate you for, what would it be? I've actually said a lot of these.
Uncomfortable truth.
One uncomfortable truth that they would hate you for. Yeah. But it would just be honest. It would be out there. It's a tough one. So I was thinking, like, there's times that I've said something in therapy where it's fallen real flat. And I'm like, oh.
That intervention maybe didn't fall how I thought it would. Yeah, okay. I do. Okay. So, and I think I have had this experience. Like they hate me for the moment, but then they might think on it. Okay, so like I talk about couples all the time, and I talk to them about like their needs as like in their relationship. So you have like a distancer, you have a pursuer. And so if I have someone who just refuses to not pursue the person, like they're crossing all these boundaries, I will be like, the more you cross this boundary, the more you push this person away. I don't know. I mean, that's not like a very good example. I don't know what else I would say. Like,
I can think of one, like with a parent I had.
Okay.
And this is what gave me the idea for this question. This is years ago, but I had a parent in my office. Their child was struggling with peer relationships.
Yes.
No one likes them. Teachers hate it. The whole thing. Everyone's against blah, blah, blah. And the woman told me so many times how gifted her child was. She's so gifted. She's so smart. She's so brilliant.
Yes.
She's got all these things going for her. She's just, everyone's just really jealous, right? And she's like, when you speak to her, she's like, the way you're speaking to me comes off not very intellectual. You need to speak to her at a high level. So I was like, oh, okay, well, let's bring her in. Yeah. Normally I don't bring the kid in the first session at all, but, I was like, let's get her in here. Yeah. She was out in my office. Mind you, she's got googly eyes on her head, these giant pigtails, and is dressed bizarrely. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. That's probably why kids aren't talking to you. Like right here. Yeah. Like middle school, that's not what we do. Working. That's not working. That's not what we do. Middle school I didn't bring that in up yet. So I'm going through using very clinical language. And the mom was like, she has no idea what you're saying. And I was like, oh, I thought she was so gifted. And like it fell really so flat. And like I was like,
you were calling out the.
Did you not tell me? Did I take it over the top? I sure did. But like that's something that, and having that woman click in her head, like, wow, maybe my kid's not that gifted. She didn't test gifted. Like I got the psychological. There's no giftedness there. But that was listed. But there was so that was something they never came back, which I'm okay with because I pointed out like, okay, well, I'm going to point out right now. The kids are seeing you like this. This is not this is probably.
This might be part of what the social issues could be.
This is what's happening.
Part of it.
Yeah. And there's this, and the other part was the mother telling you how gifted she was. So she was so much smarter than everyone else, but literally she was not. And then the kids leave me like I have 3 heads. I'm like, if I could talk to you like a kid, we'd be getting along famously.
Yeah.
But the mom insisted on saying too. So that's something I think that I don't know if it was absolutely the best example, but that's when coming to
where you actually said there. I mean, God, I'm trying.
People don't like your kid because they're not gifted.
Yes.
Or because they're so gifted. It's this, and it's because you told them they're so gifted.
Yes.
You've created this monster.
And now maybe they're not they're unable to really relate because they are talking down, maybe even.
And
telling other kids,
and the other kids
so much smarter than you.
Like they're the same as them.
Yeah.
So that would be
okay.
So I'm thinking of that's kind of what that's kind of what gave me the idea of that. And I'm trying to think of would you ever be like, yeah, I guess you're just not that compatible?
Well, okay, so I have said stuff like that before as an intervention.
Because someone's going to hate hearing that. When people want to stay together, and we've all had that couple that we're staying together, and you're like, oh, they're going to stay together? I don't know, man. You guys hate each other.
That's the thing. I think there are some uncomfortable truths of I don't know if you know how you talk to each other, but it doesn't, you don't sound like you like each other.
Right.
Even just as we're sitting here. So I guess that's an uncomfortable truth. You're telling me we want to stay together. We love each other.
Right.
But when I hear you guys talking, you certainly don't sound like it. Even when you're not in the midst of an argument. Right. It always seems like there's annoyance or contempt in your. So there are those, I guess it's always the trying to challenge what they think that narrative is, and then also what I'm seeing, what I'm observing. I think I do a lot of observing. I am sorry I'm not coming up with any great examples.
No, I think other than the other one I can think of too is when I point out to people when, especially narcissists, how great they are. Oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, and they'll say something counter, and I'm like what you just said is incongruent with how great you are.
Yes,
people that do that.
Yeah,
and that's an uncomfortable truth sometimes to come with. You might be a narcissist.
Or how about when that happens and you go, so why are you here?
Yes.
When they're like, everything's great. Everything is so great. And I don't have any problems. And I literally will say, I'm not sure why you're here then.
Right. How can I help
me
you?
Understand?
So we have some goals to have.
Yes.
That could be an uncomfortable truth too.
Oh, or when someone's mad and they're super mad at the other party, but they won't admit that they're mad. I'll be like, but I see my anger and you're not seeing it. And they're like, I'm not angry. And I'm like, okay. I did have one interaction between a couple years and years ago where the guy told me that his wife was crying in front of him and he laughed in her face. Okay. And I said, and she goes, he said that he was trying to make light of the situation. This is after the fact. And he goes, yeah, I was just trying to make her laugh. And that was bullshit. He was like angry at her and he just laughed in her face. And so I said to him, I go, so you're telling me that you thought it was a really good idea when she's crying in front of you to just laugh in her face because you thought that would help her.
You thought pulling some humorous intervention was that.
Yes. And I go, and you're not telling me that you want me to believe that that wasn't coming from a place of anger or frustration, and you just were laughing at her because you're sick of this conversation, would push her away. So like those are some, that was one of those where, and the wife was like, exactly. Like no one laughs in your face. Like whoever said that that's a good idea. And he was like, well, you say use humor. That's what he said. You say use humor. And I was like, well, your timing's really off. Do you? So there was some uncomfortable things. Yeah.
Well, I think like that's kind of it. Like when you have to say the uncomfortable truth, that's like the big elephant in the room.
Yeah, because the person's holding and doubling down on something. That's probably a hard thing to do when someone doubles down, and you're like, "Ooh, how do I?"
You're really doubling down on this,
or just you seem to really be doubling down.
What's that?
Yes, what's that about?
What's the fear?
Yeah. Okay. So
one more. I'll give you one more.
Yep.
Can love exist long term without attraction?
God, Abby's hitting the hard ones today.
Questions are good today. Jesus. These are questions that come up in my session. I start sweating. My armpits start sweating.
I'm sweating a little bit.
It's hot in here.
Okay. I like physical attraction, do you mean? So can love exist without physical attraction? Right. So I would say, yes, it can, but it depends on how important it is to you to have the physical component of your relationship. Are you, so who's asking me this? Is it like, can you love a friend without having any physical attraction to them? Yes. Like you can love someone and not have any sexual like attraction.
What about husband and wife?
But you mean husband and wife.
Yeah, like or husband and wife, like or wife and wife or husband and husband.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be
I would only say if both parties were disinterested in that, like maybe they're asexual. So I do know that there are people who like do not feel a need for sex. Right. That might actually work for them.
Gotcha, yeah.
But my then other answer would be if you're coming in for couples and someone's like, I'm just not physically attracted to my spouse anymore. Right. That is usually indicative of like there's so much more there that I have to dig at.
Right.
Because I'm guessing that's based on like years and years of resentment. And then once that person goes over that edge of like, now I have no attraction, they're usually like on the path of giving up. So my like professional experience would tell me that that's not a good sign at all. Right. And that there's probably years of buildup between them that led them to have zero attraction, and they love them, but are not in love with them. I hear too. So like, I'm not physically attracted and I'm no longer in love with this person, but I love them because they are the wife of my children, the father of my children, whatever. So typically not a great sign.
I'm just going to follow up with one little follow-up. Yep. The person I'm thinking of, it's a very young couple. They just moved in together. Okay. And the attraction's not there.
On both sides? Or just on one side?
One side. Male not attracted to female.
I think
not married.
Ooh, okay. I would really want to dig into what's going on for him.
Right.
Why is he in a relationship with someone where he doesn't feel any physical attraction to? There's so much there.
Right. I feel like there's a fun, like compatibility with, there's some compatibility. But there's like when they go out, they have a nice time.
They have a great time.
They laugh, they joke.
Okay.
But then there's a lot of other stuff going on this, like they're not compatible in like physical activity. They're not like, like they have different views of certain things. But yeah, so like and when it's early on, like I just feel like
that's a little more.
Do I work with you on accepting that, or do I work with you on ways to maybe this isn't going to work? Yeah, like, is this really going to work for you?
I think that's probably where I'd be. Exactly. I'd want to know. I'd really want to dig at this person and where they're at. It is not a good sign if you don't want to have sex with your partner for a long-term committed relationship. Right. Like just that, I would probably even say that to the person. I'd be like, that's not a really good sign, to be honest with you.
Right.
So tell me what makes you stay. And then also what are you like, what is it that you need and how are you having a hard time addressing it?
Right.
Have there been major physical swings for your partner, health swings for your partner. Maybe they're not as able-bodied anymore. Like people have horrible diseases and diagnoses.
Right.
So, sex is not necessarily the most important thing, but if you're young and it is very important, I would really talk through that. That might not be.
That might be a deal breaker.
It might be a
or
big deal breaker.
if you can't do the breaking up, what's it look like? Later on in life, like what does that look like?
Yes.
For you to not have someone that you're not attracted to.
Yes.
For long term.
Yeah.
Like how does that work?
Because I think physical attraction is really important in a romantic relationship.
Oh,
so anyway,
I do too. I would agree with you.
Yes.
Okay, guys, we're coming
All right,
to the near end of our time here. Awesome job, Sarah. That was really good. Those were not
heavy hitting problems.
But I swear, these are things that are coming up across my. This is like when I'm in my office. Sometimes I'm like, I wish I need to consult with Sarah on this.
Yes.
This is a couple, and these are harder. Yeah, these are harder questions to kind of answer. Because you got to really think about like where are we going with this.
And I always think that there's always something deeper going on, so I have to like probe. I'm always like, tell me more about what you're not attracted to.
Right.
Tell me more about it.
Right.
Like I need to understand from inside your brain how you feel, because then I think it will clear a little path for you, because you might, maybe there's unspoken emotional issues that are going on that are contributing, not contributing, or is it I'm afraid to tell? Maybe the person's like, I'm afraid to tell them that I need to leave. I need to break this up.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Fit Mind Chats. So fun. We'll see you next Monday for another session. If you have a question or topic that you would like us to cover, follow us on Facebook, Fit Mind Cleveland, and message us.
Please.
Yes, if you'd like, absolutely. I love questions. If you'd like to seek out therapy services, go to our website, fitmindcleveland.com, and contact us.
If you would please leave us a rating or review and share our podcast with families, friends, enemies, or anyone that needs it. We want to bring mental health access to all people that can benefit.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.